Okay, I've been meaning to do this video for a long time, and it's been trying to fit it in anyway, but now I'm going to do it now, so catch you again after the start. Right, yep, so good afternoon, or is it morning now? What is it, where we are? I'll tell you where we are in a second. We are in the afternoon. It's 12:21 here in the Philippines. Excuse me while I have a drink of water. I've got tea as well, just in case you wondered. Yeah, so I've been meaning to do this video. I've been here a month now, just over. Not quite a month yet in the apartment. I think that is a month on Tuesday. No, actually, I think it is a month today, give or take the days. Anyway, whatever, I'm here. And I'm in my apartment in Angeles. And I thought I'd do a sum up of my first month. And overall, absolutely fantastic. I don't regret coming here one bit. When I come to go home, I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna be very mixed feelings. I want to go home and see the dog, see George and Gracie. I do miss George and Gracie. I miss a lot of people in England, and I'm going to come to something to do with England in a minute. But I'm really going to miss here. And I don't like, I like the apartment I'm at itself, but what I don't like is where I am. Like Angeles, I've got nothing against Angeles, where I am, I'm too close to Walking Street, and it's very, very noisy. And considering it's very, very quiet, here it's totally the other end of the spectrum. People play music loud. The Philippines, they seem to love everything loud. Their bikes have got to be extra loud. The music has to be extra loud. You walk past shops and they're playing their music extra loud. It just seems like everything really loud here, which doesn't bode well with me. Let's start off with the Philippines itself. It's awkward, especially for me. I mean, I've been here quite a few times, and I've always been with Karina, and it makes a bit of a difference having Karina with me. Sorry about the light reflecting off in my glasses. I think that's from the screen, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So it's always made a difference being with Karina, because she speaks the language, and she's obviously because she's Filipino. You notice that it's the tourist thing. There's one for them and one for us, without a doubt. You do notice that. It's lovely and warm. It's very much no stress, no rush. Although it's a permanent traffic jam, there is no stress and there is no rush. Everyone sort of does it in their own time. Don't expect things to happen immediately here, because it doesn't. Nothing happens immediately. Everything takes at least a week, or at least an hour, depending on what it is. Just buying an item. For example, when I bought the fridge freezer, went into SM. No, I didn't. Yes, I don't know where I bought it. No, I bought it from Robinson. I do apologise. And right, you see the person like, yes, I'm interested in this fridge freezer, and they tell you about it. Say, yep, I know about it. All I want is to buy it. Okay, so they have to go and get somebody else who does the paperwork. So he then does all the paperwork, and trust me, they have to know the ins and outs of a duck's arse. And this is just to pay for it. Then they then pass the paperwork on to somebody else, who they then process the paperwork. You then have to go somewhere else to actually pay for it, and then you have to take the paperwork back to the first person, who then assigns somebody else to go and get it from the warehouse or wherever to bring it in, and then you can buy it. Then you can take it away. And oh no, because they then take it down the car park for you. Honestly, it is an absolute nightmare. Just anything I buy, I bought the little JBL speaker, which is like, what's that? I think I got that. No, that comes. Yeah, that was on. Got that for 10 quid. Because I bought the cooker and the rice cooker, the oven and the rice cooker, and I got that for special offer then. Everything is just a rigmarole. It really is. So right, that's that. What else? If you want to get across Manila, allow a good few hours. It is an absolute nightmare to cross Manila. When they're bringing out the new Skyway, it's probably going to get a lot better. But at the moment, it is an absolute nightmare. You've got a good 4 hours to get across Manila. So if you're coming in through, if you're coming here and you're coming in through Ninoy Aquino, the main airport in Manila, which is the other side of Los Piñas side, and you're going to come here, which is totally the other side of Manila. Expect it to take you a long time. If you're going by taxi, it's going to cost a lot of money. So my advice is, if you're flying into here, fly via Clark. Right, so yeah, allow a lot of time to go across Manila. What else? The money, at the moment I'm hoping the pound is going to go up. Yesterday it was 66.8. It's gone up a few points of a peso since I've been here. So I'm hoping that now Boris is in and everything else, we're going to get a better exchange rate. So that's sort of fluctuating at the moment. Don't drink the water, obviously. Common sense that. I mean, I use it for the kettle. I boil it, have it for a cup of tea. I clean my teeth okay in it, and I shower and everything else in it. Now, that's another thing, showering. Where I am, I mean, a lot of if you're going to get a hotel, you've got a good chance it's going to be hot and cold running water. There's no hot water here. If you rent an apartment, good 90% chance there's no hot water, and often not even a shower. And there's a thing called a taboo, and it's a big bucket with a little bowl, and you just wash in cold water. And once you get used to it, it's actually quite pleasant, especially when you consider how hot it is here. It is very pleasant. I don't mind it. I've got used to it now. What else? I'm just trying other things to adjust to being here. If you're going to come out on holiday, it's anything less than a fortnight. Well, no, I suppose it depends really what you're going to come and do. If you come in here for Angeles and the girls, I think after a week you're going to get bored. If you're going to come to see the Philippines, and there's a lot to see, but not in Angeles, there is a lot to see in the Philippines. If you're going to come here to see the Philippines, then at least a fortnight. See what I mean about the loud bikes? Now I'm sitting in my apartment, back from the road, and that's a little side. This is a side road, and you see what I mean about the noise. It gets very irritating, especially if that's going 24/7. I mean, Sunday today, and it's still bloody noisy. Right, what else? What was I saying before that bloody bike went past? Yeah, but there is a lot to see in the Philippines. We've got some amazing beaches, even down in Subic Bay, which is about hours drive from here. That's beautiful down there. Really lovely sea and lovely beaches. Manila, there's a hell of a lot to see. I mean, we scratched the surface the other day when we was over there. We spent the day there, and hopefully you watched the video. Right, now we come to Angeles itself, and the famous walking street. The reason most people come here, if they're going to come to Angeles. Let's start from hotels. Hotels here start from a 1-star up to a 5-star. From what I've discovered through talking to people, because obviously I haven't been in one, the 3-star, 4 stars are really nice. 4-star is probably about up to 3-star in England and Europe. The 5 stars are bloody expensive. The 1 stars are rent by the hour, as they call it. So you're obviously not going to bother with them unless you're going to use it as a second place. Beer. Now, if you go for beer in the day, it's going to cost you about 65 pesos at the bars in Field Avenue, Walking Street. And you go for the same place that night, it'll go up by 10 pesos. That's 75 pesos. That's for San Miguel Light. Red Horse, which is the better beer, is usually about 80 pesos. All the bars, the price is about the same until you go into the clubs. From what I've heard, again, I haven't been in the clubs, it's about 300 pesos for a beer, because that's how they make the money. So if you're going to have a good drink, stick to the bars. Okay, sorry about that. You wouldn't have known it, but Karina phoned me then, so it was a slight interlude. Right, where was I? I think I was talking about alcohol and the price of alcohol. So, yep, so if you're going to get pissed, go to there's some nice bars. I recommend Bretos, as you know from if you've watched my previous videos. That's my normal place, which is where I observe everything that's going on, and I learn about the Philippines and about Angeles and about walking street. I talk to the bar staff, like the waitresses, and I've even spoke to some of the girls. I have had a couple of misfortunes. The first one being as I got robbed. Within the first week of living in this apartment, I still very English when it comes to security. And I got up one morning, and as is my habit, I open the front door, and then I do my ablutions, and I thought, well, I'm going out with Dougie that day, so I'm going to have a shower. It's Dougie's first full day here. I'll have a shower like taboo first. So I opened my front door, did everything, and went for taboo. And in that short time it took me to have a taboo, I come out and somebody had been in here, nicked my 2 iPhones and my wallet. See, nuts here, I hadn't put the padlock on the gate, and they're very quick. And so that was the whole day then, with no money, no wallet, no phones. Thank God Dougie was here. Cheers, Dougie, mate. You're a lifesaver. Dougie lent me some cash, some Philippine money. We shot across to SM and bought another phone, so I could phone Karina up to cancel the cards. I mean, that was the first important thing. And the phones are insured. All right, it was an annoying thing that I'd lost my iPhones. Hang on. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, so it was annoying and upsetting. I'd lost my iPhones, especially the new XR, because I sort of really love that one. But when I get home, I put the insurance claim in and get the new ones. That's not a big deal. There was 4,000 pesos in there. Okay, so yeah, that's 4,000 I could have done with, but again, that's no big deal. It was everything else. It's all my bank cards, which means I can't get any cash out. I'm stuck. Again, thankfully Dougie was able to lend me some money, but that's not the point. And so it was all my ID. So it's my driving licence, which means I can't get senior citizen discount, and my defence discount card, which means because I've been wangling, I get a bit of discount for being a veteran, and because they ask for everything out here, have you got ID? So that's scuppered that. Plus the wallet. Again, I can replace the wallet when I get home. I'd ordered that and bought that especially for being out here. But it's a lesson learned, a big lesson learned. Now I'm in that gate, regardless, I only got to come in for 2 seconds and the gate's padlocked. The only time it's unlocked is when I go out or come in, and the padlock goes straight back on before I even open the front door. But there it goes, the lesson learned. And then one night, I needed to burn some energy off about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll put the daytime shorts on, which you've got zips on the pockets because they're naffy pockets, and went for a walk, and I forgot to put the zip up and I had my phone in my pocket, and my phone dropped out. So that's another phone gone. So I've been unlucky with phones out here, and all my life I've never lost a phone until I come out here and go and lose so many. But there you go, that's it. That's just one of them things, isn't it? Then the next thing is, next scam that I know of from personal, I used to stop on my way up, when I'd sort of leave Dougie going off to his bit, I'd have my last walk down Walking Street to come in from the back end, because I used to have a laugh walking through. And I used to stop at the Black Pole for a red horse. And I talked to the girls in there like I talk to the girls everywhere, and 9 times out of 10 they know that I'm married and I'm not interested, and they just sit there and talk with me. I never buy them a drink because you pay over the top for their drinks. But then one night there was 2 new girls I'd never seen before. They sat over side of me, and one of them kept rubbing my tummy and everything else, and I'm, please stop, I don't like it. And then in the end I got and walked away, and when I got home I realised it was the diversion tactic. So if you've got 2 girls sitting next to you and one starts touching you and rubbing you, the other one will dip your pocket. And they're very, very clever. They don't take all your money. They will go into your pocket, take out 1,000 or 2,000 and put the rest back. So if 2 of them start doing that to you, get up and walk away. Right, so that leads on to the girls. Now this is through actually talking to them if you go into the bar and you pay a bar fine, if you go like into one of the clubs, and you get one of the girls, you pay a bar fine. So it's usually about 3,000 pesos. And the girl either gets 50 to 70%, 50 to 30% of that. You'll often find the girls when they're not on their nights off to make up more money, they will walk up and down the walking street, and they tend to charge 1,500 to 2,000. This is for one off. Overnight, I think for the night is very negotiable. Although a lot of them seem to charge 3,000 for the night and 2,500. This is on the walking street. 2,000 for one off and 3,000 for the night. Again, it's negotiable, depending on what time of the day it is. Then you've got, as I say, you've got the girls on their days off. They would charge 1,500 to 2,000 because that's all going in their bin. Again, you can negotiate often with them. Then you come off a walking street and you go to the side streets. You go into the bars like the Black Pearl. In there, it's 1,500, and I think because they get food and accommodation, they get 500 and the bar gets 1,000. Then you got the ones walking down the side streets. Well, that's anything from 50 pesos up to 1,000, depending on where you are, what part you're in, and how late it is. But there you're running a risk. So that then brings us on to the inspections. All the girls in the bars, and often the ones that are walking down Walking Street because they're off-duty bar staff, bar girls, have ID. They have to carry ID, and they've got a certificate of health, because every week they go to the clinic, which is just down the road to where I am, and they're checked, they're inspected for any diseases, and they give a smear and blood test and whatever, which they have to pay for, and then they get their clean bill of health if they're clean. So you know you're 90% safe that the girls around here are going to be clean. I still wear a condom if I was you though, because this is still one of the countries where you can still go bareback, because a lot of them are Catholic and the Catholic religion doesn't like contraception. But that's entirely up to you. The average price, don't buy condoms, there's street sellers everywhere in Walking Street, and especially at the start and the end, selling everything from cigarettes to condoms to mints to Viagra. Apart from the cigarettes, pretty much everything else is fake, and the mints aren't fake. But wouldn't buy condoms from them if I was you. The 7-Eleven, there's loads of them around. It's about 80 pesos for 3, only because I've asked out of interest, just so I can tell you. I haven't bought a condom for donkey's years. I don't really know what to do with one anymore, I don't think. Anyway, so they're about 80 pesos. Buying them from 7-Eleven because you know you're going to be buying the real thing and not some imitation that's going to split. Not that I was thinking he was really bothered about you splitting due to getting a girl pregnant, because if you're not coming back, it's the least of your worries. But you don't want it to split and lead you open to diseases if there is any. As I say, you pay your money, you take your chance around here as far as that's concerned. And you know pretty much if you're going to go down one of the side streets around here and you're going to pay 100 pesos, then you really are doing a Russian roulette. My advice is to go for a blowjob. I think you get one a lot cheaper. Next, lady boys. There's loads of them. There's a certain area where they're basically, which is the end of Walking Street, as you turn left at the end of Walking Street. There's loads of them that tend to mingle around there. They're pretty open, they don't say they're ladies, they do tell you straight away, you do know I'm a lady boy. Obviously they're a lot cheaper, and if that's what you fancy, then give it a go and you'll probably find they're about 300 to 500 pesos. Definitely wear a condom. Some of them are rather pretty and some of them aren't. You know, the more expensive ones are the pretty ones, I should imagine. Again, I haven't really had much to do with them. I have a laugh with them and that's about it. And I haven't really spoken to them on your behalf. And if anybody wants me to find out more, let me know in the comments. And I will. I'll talk to them, find out for you. What else? Right, safety. So I've told you what's happened to me a few times. So obviously the most important thing is forget that you're in. It's not England, right? We forget how reasonably secure we are in England, unless you live in a city where you get the burglars come round. But the majority of the time in England, we're pretty safe. You know what I mean? Where I live, I mean, I can leave my front door and go and do my garden and everything else, and in the summer the back door's open permanently. I mean, I've got the back door open here, and I know it's a yard behind here, and it's all fenced in and everything else, but I still wouldn't want to go out and leave it open. I think also the fact that I'm used to having dogs that would bark if they come anywhere near my front door, and that was a time when I thought, shit, I do miss not having a dog, because if I had a dog, well, it wouldn't have happened. Let's face it, for fuck's sake. Right. So safety is really important. Now then, my advice is, when you go out of an evening, if you're going to go with a girl, just take however much you're going to spend on that girl. So just be a little bit careful about how much money you've got in your pocket, because they will dip you. In fact, be careful how much you take out full stop. Don't take loads of wads out. Hide it in your hotel room, especially most hotel rooms apparently have a safe. In fact, that's going to be probably my next big purchase here. I intend to get a safe because I want to leave stuff here when I go home as well. Yeah, so get yourself a safe. Also, most wardrobe doors have handles. I mean, I've got a chain and a padlock that I use. I mean, no, I don't bring anybody in here, but I still, if I go out, it's belt and braces now. Since being robbed, I'm overcautious probably, but it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to be overcautious. I put, you know, the bicycle locks. I think that's probably, if you buy one in England or over here, get a small one of them, just a loop one to put through the handles, and that way you can lock all your cameras and all your really important stuff, especially if you can take a girl back to your hotel room. And then that way, and all your money, everything is locked away in there, unless you've got a safe, and as I say, put your money in the safe. If you're going to do the lock, I thought about doing a combination lock, if I actually bought a combination padlock, because what I've actually bought is a dog chain, that does the job, and I bought a combination lock, and then I thought the downside to combination lock is, if I'm had a few drinks, I've got to try and remember and see the number. It's going to be a bugger that, and the numbers are quite small, which doesn't help my eyes. And but the downside of using a padlock is you've got to then secure the key. So I'll leave that to you to decide how you want to do that. I've come up with my ideas, so I'm not going to say it over here. I'm not that silly. So that's most important if you're taking a girl back to your hotel room. If you're going to take back more than one, you have to have eyes in the back of your arse. And I'm thinking more about if you're going to take them back for the night. I mean, I'm sure a good percentage of them are totally honest and aren't going to thieve off you. But there is a percentage that will, and you don't know which ones they are. Is it worth the risk? You have to ask yourself. So yeah, be safe. That's very important. I mean, I go for long walks, often late at night. If I've still got a lot of energy left, especially if I've been a bit late getting out of bed like I was this morning, I will go for a walk. And I've got my little thing, if I do 10 circuits, it's 3 miles. So I do that. I just do a brisk walk because it's nice and cool at 2 o'clock in the morning, because it takes me around all the areas where everybody is, all the girls are. And I'm talking about the cheap girls. The majority of the time now I get left alone because they see me doing it so often and they know the answer's no. But when I do go out, I take no money with me, no phone, no watch, no nothing. All I have in my pocket is my key, my front door key, and that is it. Because that way I'm not going to lose anything. I've learnt my lesson with losing things with the phone. A lot of the time I go out in these shorts anyway, I take a man bag. Now that's another thing. Man bags, they are worth their weight in gold. I know in England it's still not fashionable to have a man bag. It looks a bit, I'm not going to say the word, you know what I mean though. Whereas over here, it's very popular with the Filipinos and the tourists, no matter what country you come from. I mean, we already know that the Arabs and the Egyptians and Turkish, they love their man bag. And when I used to go to Turkey, it was, you know, I used to have my man bag because it didn't look out of place. And because when you're wearing shorts and you've only got little pockets, it's bloody hard to carry everything, especially with the cameras and everything else. So I've got my man bag and I love it, and I wish I could use it as much in England as I do over here. I might try and start a trend when I get back, see if it take off this time. Man bags are worth their weight in gold. Bum bags, I'm not so, I don't think they're quite so thing. Dougie uses a bum bag. Perhaps it's just me, I just don't like them. It seems to work for Dougie, but he struggles to get things in and out of it because he has 2 wallets in and everything else. Whereas a man bag, you've got a lot more room, you've got lots of zips where you can hide things. The only thing I'm going to say about man bags is when you're, especially in Manila, where it's very busy, you have the bag in front of you with one arm on the bag, because they will try and cut the strap and take it away, just as they do with the ladies. And you have the opening to the man bag, if you've got a flap over like mine, it's facing your tummy, not facing out. Just think about making things as hard as possible for any would-be tea leaves. You do it that way, and if you think everybody is going to steal it off you, you're halfway there. But don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm painting it bad now, I'll make it look like everyone's out to scam you. I'm just saying that you have to think that way. What you've got to bear in mind out here is poverty is real poverty here. You'll see, if you come here, ever come here, you'll see that people and children are living on the streets, literally. Not like in England where we have got a bad homeless problem, but nothing like it is here. The difference here is it's hot. But last night I was doing my walk round, and there was a woman with 2 kids going for the rubbish and going for outside McDonald's, taking out, there's a Coke, you know, the drinks thing, and she opened one of the kids to finish the drink off, and there's some chips left and a bit of burger. And now that's where you see poverty. And you're going to see it. So when you've got a lot of poverty and people see a way out, and you've got tourists that come over here, we're not, majority of the people here, like tourists or expats, we're not rich. A lot of us are just here on our pensions, but they don't see it that way. You see, they think every foreigner is rich, especially English and American. They think we're absolutely rolling in money because they see our salaries in the papers, how much people earn, and they think that's it, but they don't seem to understand the cost of living in England or America. So they see us all as rich pickings, and you know, and they will, if they think they can get the money off of us, they will. Learn to barter if you're going to buy anything. Even in the shops, ask them, you know, because more often than not, apart from like the advertised prices, it's the tourist price we're offering you. Shop around for definite. I mean, there's people walking around, as you've seen in my videos, selling wallets and belts and that. And I wanted a wallet because obviously I lost my wallet. I just needed the right one. I still haven't really got the one I wanted. I was getting desperate, sort of thing. But they're walking around with these wallets for 300 pesos. And you can go to Robinson's, to the little leather store there, and get exactly the same wallet for 100. And they obviously go there and buy them. And whilst I agree, let them make some money, and 300% is a little bit too much. But you see, if I did try to get him down to 100, one of them, because there was one I particularly liked, and he wasn't going to go down less than 150. And I was going to go down Robinson, buy it for 100. And he said 150. I said no. And he kept coming back. In the end, the owner of the bar told me to piss off out of it because he was getting aggravating. Stop for a tea. You got to have a cup of tea. I brought my tea bags with me in case I hadn't already mentioned. That's something out here I don't like, the tea. It's Lipton's tea. Same as you get in a lot of the hotels. And I don't like Lipton's tea. I like me Tetley or me PG. That's all I like. I can live with the coffee. The coffee out here is majority 3-in-1. In other words, it's coffee, creamer and sugar in a little tube. And you just add hot water to that. It's not bad, it's a bit sweet. But as I don't drink a lot of coffee anyway. In fact, I've now found the little tube's just plain coffee. And I use creamer in the coffee because it's long life milk out here. They say it's fresh milk, but it's not, it's still long life. And it's just about passable in tea. In coffee it's horrible, so I stick to creamer. Um, what else? There's a lot of sweet stuff out here. Food. Filipinos still can't do a steak. Even some of these places that advertise as American steak, Australian steak, it still isn't good. I think a lot of it is brought in, imported, frozen and defrosted. You take your chance on it. You've got McDonald's, you've got Jollibees, which is a Philippine version of McDonald's, in case you don't know. Kentucky, and there's loads of the American fast food chains that we don't even see in England, or at least I don't. There's plenty of fast food out here, and it's not badly priced. You can actually eat out, probably not much different to what if you buy ingredients and cook it, and if you're in a hotel room you can't do that. I've yet to see a proper full English. You see them advertised as full English, but they're not. Usually Hungarian sausages, which aren't bad. I quite like them. The bacon is the biggest problem out here. Be careful with bacon because they like the Americans, you see, they like the sweet bacon, which isn't good for the English palate. I think that's just about it for now. If I think of anything else, I'll do another one. I was going to write a script for this and never got around to it. One of these days I will actually write a script. Now you'd think that is some mean vehicle, wouldn't you? This is just a car with a big cherry bomb on the back. Mind you, we get that in England. Right, so I'm going to call it a day on that one. Before I go, when I was in Manila, I know a lot of people that watch this already know about this. When I was in Manila, a good friend of mine, Rick, phoned me up, and as soon as I saw his number come up, I knew it was to tell me somebody had passed away. And unfortunately, it was our friend Monty. You'd have seen Monty in a lot of my videos. He's the gentleman with the green infantry jacket, the green berry with the two badges. He was my mentor when I first started becoming a standard bearer, and he's been a good friend ever since. And unfortunately, he passed away. He had a ruptured aortic aneurysm, which, if anybody knows, if you get one of them, you die very quickly, because basically you sanguinate, you bleed out. Anyway, unfortunately, he passed away the other day, and I'm going to, I'm out here, and it's the only time I've regretted being here, because I wasn't there, or I'm not there, whichever you want to look at it. And I'm going to miss the funeral, which I'm really upset about. Quinn's going to go in my place, so at least we're represented there. But I'd love to have been there with the standard so I can pay my last respects to Monty. Hey Monty, mate, if you're looking down, I'm really going to miss you. You're one hell of a excellent bloke, fantastic squaddy, veteran, and a really good friend. And my condolences go out yet again to the family, to Violet, and the girls. I'm really going to miss it. Anyway, if all goes well, I will have put a photograph up now to go with him. And then, okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a mismatch. It's not a mismatch, but by the time I edit, it's probably going to make a lot more sense than when I've been sitting here rambling, because I do that sometimes. And I haven't sat in front of a camera and a mic like this for a long, long time. As I say, one of these days I'll get around to scripting it. But anyway, so right, that's it for now. I shall now edit this video, and today's Sunday, so hopefully this will go up today. Excuse me. And I don't know when the next one will be. I do plan still to get to the deserted hospital, the abandoned haunted hospital, this week. I shall walk there and walk back. But I'll fit it in this week at some point. And that's it for now. So don't forget, thumbs up please if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to leave a comment. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And watch out for the next one. Oh, and don't forget, I've got a lovely back catalogue of videos worth watching. Every single one's an absolute drama, and I need more subscribers, so please share. For some reason my views have dropped off instead of going up. I thought being out here the views would go up, but we'll see. Anyway, okay, so anyway, thanks again, and I'll catch you again very, very soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching my YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.